What's going on, guys? Welcome to another live session with your boy Phrankleen. Um, if you're watching this as a playback, my name is Phrankleen. I'm the brain behind this. This is one of the live sessions I normally do on this channel, and this segment is called "Say It Like It Is," where we talk about eclectic topics that affect the everyday life. If you can see me, hit the like button. Hit the like button. Carlson, Yewande Braids, good afternoon, Joyce. Right, thank you for joining. Ruby Williams, Nikki, Mary Phillip. So anyway, right. Good morning, good evening, wherever you are. Okay. Just hit the like button. There is more than 3 people online, and it's just showing me 3 people. Anyway, maybe that's a YouTube glitch. So let's talk about the mothers who weaponize, their kids against, their fathers. So basically, as you guys normally do, I get emails from you, people sharing their stories with me and stuff like that. So thank you, love, thank you. If you can see me, just hit the like button, okay, so we can gain a bit more traction. Anyway, as I was saying, I got an email from, not even email, a couple of emails with people with similar stories, particularly men, dads who are maybe, separated and stuff, and they are basically going through hell. So the premise of, this video, let me just put out a quick disclaimer, because there are people that would try to bring in their narrative and stuff. Now, first of all, I am not here to talk about deadbeat dads who deliberately ignore their responsibility or their kids, and don't provide for them monetarily, don't spend time with them, and just disappear and bail out on their children, and don't check on their welfare, don't go to school, and all those things. That's not what this is about. This is laser targeted at the group of people who are known as responsible fathers, who are genuinely interested in the welfare of their children, but as life happens, their relationship with their child or their children's moms have ended acrimoniously, and they are being denied access to their children. So the first email was from this gentleman who basically said he separated from his partner. He's based here in the UK. Separated from his partner and stuff. They've got a young son, and he said he's basically been put through a living hell with his son's what's it called now, his son's mother, who has pretty much been, how do you say, who has pretty much been using their son as a weapon against him. So like, they have an agreement that he needs to pick up the son on a Saturday or Friday afternoon or evening so he can have the child for the weekend and stuff. He would turn up and he would just say, the son is with my sister, my son is with, he can't come with you this weekend. Basically emotionally torturing the man, and this has been going on for long. He's trying not to escalate things because he doesn't want toxicity for his son. He just wants to be a dad. And she would go to school and lie. He said in his email that it's gotten so bad that the mom has, the school have even uncovered some of the lies. There was another gentleman that said to me that in another separate email, whereby he's got a son and a daughter, and every time he goes to pick up his kids so he can spend time with them, there's always a roadblock and roadblock and roadblock and roadblock. And it got to a point that he had to start filming every visit because there's been lies, a malicious telephone call to the police. If he gets there and he's knocking on the door and is calling her to open the door, by the time she opens the door, she's called the police, and police is pulling up and saying he's threatening her, he's punched the door, he wants to beat her up. Basically, this woman doing everything to obliterate this man from the picture, right? So my concern is, I mean, as you would agree with me, everyday, everyday life, in everyday life, relationships are known to end acrimoniously. As we speak, somebody somewhere, a couple somewhere are separating. That happens every day, 24/7, 365 days. Okay, it's part of life. But what I've noticed is women who weaponize their children, and just because you've not gotten over that man. Now, I'm not refuting the fact that the man might have been a complete idiot. He maybe cheated on you, he let you down for whatever reasons, right? But it's always the children that are the vulnerable ones. Okay, so A and B, you're grown-ups, you're two adults. I'm not so much interested in what happened, how that happened. You've decided to move on with your life. The relationship is ended. Okay, we get that. But the question is, why are you depriving your children from having a healthy relationship, with their father? There was an email that I got recently, which was a few days ago. It was a gentleman who said he's actually 46-year-old this year. He lives here in the UK. And he told me in the email that when they were growing in Nigeria, he's got two other siblings, three of them. He said, man, he was a little kid. He didn't know one of his aunties or whatever brought him to the UK, and he's been here for long. But basically, the story that he grew up with was a really, really terrible picture of his father as a deadbeat dad that abandoned them, that used to abuse their mother and beat her up when they were kids. So imagine you growing up with that. That affects you emotionally, that, you have so much hatred. It's understandable towards, that man, that you would ever, oh, if I come across that man based on the way he treated my mom and all that stuff. And his mom has always told them that, oh, nobody knows their father's whereabouts. He abandoned them, blah, 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 and he's disappeared into thin air. The usual template. So, but as the universe, the four corners of the universe would have it, he went on holiday for the first time to the States. So he said he went on holiday to Texas with a couple of friends. And they stayed in a hotel, but one of the friends got relatives in Texas and said, oh, let's go say hello. Let's go. So they had a rented car. Let's go say hello to my family members and blah, blah, blah. And then they drove to this part of Texas. And he went to this house. There's this man who was sat on the couch. He was an elderly man, like in his 70s or something like that. And he was sat there and they got talking and one thing led to another. So the woman came out who was his friend's relative. He said, one thing led to another, and during the course of that, his presence in that house, he was able to uncover that man was in fact his biological father. Now, how that came about, I don't know. But then, it became a big thing, and the man was shocked to find out that this person is his son, and he then told him that you got siblings, you abandoned us, you dumped us and stuff. I'm 46-year-old. How could you? So the other wife, who, is married to now, was there in shock. Like, what the? And then, long story short, the father then sat him down. This is where I'm going. Pay attention to this. And said, dude, everything your mother told you about me is in fact a lie. Big web of lies. Said, when you were younger, when you were little kids, he said, your mom was quite promiscuous. I, on numerous occasions, caught her, having an affair with men, cheating on him and stuff like that. And he said, a lot of times family members would get involved and he would just let it go. And he said the final nail in the coffin was, bear in mind, those donkey years ago, there was no social media, there was no internet and stuff like that. He said, he had traveled to Ijebu-Ode. For those from Nigeria, you would know that, right? For a business trip into cocoa business with some friends. And he was meant to come back on a Saturday, but they had finished early with the business meeting. So he decided to travel back to Lagos 2 days early. And then he caught his mom, his wife, this gentleman's mom, in the matrimonial bed with a man that lived 2 streets away, an Alaji that lived 2 streets away from their house, both butt naked, having sex, making love. So, and he lost his cool. He was going to kill that man. Da, da, da. You can imagine, fill in the blanks and stuff. And out of shame, the woman took this man and the other siblings, took the three of them. They were very young. She ran away from the house. Nobody could trace her. Nobody could find, her whereabouts. Nobody knew anything, how to get hold of her and stuff. And she faded into thin air with the children. And she went to settle somewhere else, and she raised them and filled the mind of those kids with negative stories about their fathers. And they grew up with so much hatred about these children, and telling them that, oh, your father used to abuse me, used to batter me, he never gave money and all that, which were in fact lies. So this is somebody's story that I'm telling you now. Imagine you lived your life. You're a 46-year-old man now. You're nearly 50. And then you bump into your father, who's elderly now, who is, in his old age, and he's moved on because he couldn't find, his children. He's married another woman, had other children, and he said it was flood of tears for days. So that this man now has now been traveling to the States to see his father ever so often. They're trying to rebuild. And he said it was so serious that even their last born, the third one, was in so are we meant to not tell the kids? No, Victoria, I think you misconstrued what I'm saying. Please pay attention to what I'm saying, okay? What you're saying is totally irrelevant to what I'm saying here, okay? Now, let me just say for the benefit of the tape, okay? We're not talking to you about men. This is not about men who are like deadbeat dads, useless men who deliberately turn their backs on their women, good women, and then abandon the women, abandon the kids, don't pull their weights, don't ask about the children's welfare, and they disappear and go get somebody else pregnant, and they repeat that. What we're talking about here, we're talking about malicious, callous, evil, dubious women that use their children against their fathers. This happens every day. So I'm relating this to the stories that I got, whereby here in the UK, for example, the plethora of stories where, because the relationship ended acrimoniously, you're still very bitter, you're still very brokenhearted, and you use anything and everything to try to sabotage the man's reputation regarding his kids. Now, pay attention. People are fond of drumming up stories, trying to use defense mechanism when they hear things like this. It's not going to change my view. You're not paying attention. I can see some comments. That's the problem that we have. People quickly drum up stories. Oh, what if the man is lying? No, the man is not lying. You're a 46-year-old man. You're a grown man with gray hair. You bump into your father. You uncover the fact that your mother has lied for years, and you confront your mother with the lies, and the lies fall apart, and the woman fall apart like a sandcastle because she's been found out. There are a plethora of stories. There are fathers out there. This is what I'm saying, long and short. Nobody cares about, oh, he was this and this, he slept with my best friend, he slept with my sister, he was cheating on me with 3 women. I get that. He was a dog, he was this, he was that. We get that. And we agree with you. You have every right. Maybe I'm assuming, let's say the man, let you down. He did this, he did that, due to irreconcilable differences, I got out of the relationship. Fantastic. But if a man genuinely, of his own volition, he knows the right thing to do regarding the kids. So at that point, there is no longer a relationship. So both of you are trying to co-parent, but you are then weaponizing your children. Women do that all the time because you are bitter, you're very angry. So, for example, you already have an arrangement in place. You know that he has to come on Friday maybe to get the son or daughter or maybe more than one child so that they can go spend the weekend with him. And then he would drop the child off in school on Monday morning and then you can then pick up. And then he turns up on a Friday. You didn't tell him prior, oh, you can't see your daughter. Why? But you know I've got to pick her up. Well, yeah, you can't. She's with my sister. So that's that. Why? What do you mean she's with you? Your sister can't be a priority. What? She's with my sister and her kids, and I can't tell you where they are. Blah 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 blah. And then, or he's already told you that, hey, listen, I booked a summer holiday. I want to take our daughter to on a holiday to Paris, for summer, myself and her, just for a week, and I'll bring her back home and stuff. There was one that I remember this. You agreed. He had booked the holiday. He booked the hotel. He showed you the bookings. He showed you everything. And then 2 days to packing the bags to go to Paris with the child to Disneyland. Then the mother turns around and says, so is there any other woman that's joining you in that location? And the guy said, well, whoa. First of all, there's no woman joining me in that location. And second of all, if there was, that's got nothing to do with you. I want to take her to Disneyland, the child to Disneyland to have a good time. And then, oh yeah, if you're not answering my question, find something, something petty, and then decides not to let the child go. So my focus here is you're depriving your child of their entitlement to their fathers. And this is known to sabotage the lives of a lot of children. I will never understand. I've met so many women that you use your history with them. And now, let me also put out a disclaimer. We are also not talking about where maybe it's a case of domestic abuse. Maybe you've gone through the courts. There is a court order that maybe the man is not allowed to. Oh, thank you, Skin Deep. Thank you. God bless you. The man is not allowed, based on a court order, not allowed to have contact with the said child. Now, that's a totally different conversation, right? So if the man is not allowed to have contact with the child because there's a court order, there's an injunction in place and stuff. So if the man keeps coming to knock on your door, of course, such man is going to get arrested and they might end up in prison, right? That's a different conversation. But using the fact that you are emotionally broken or because you've not gotten over the ugly relationship to use that to deprive your child of a fatherhood that they are entitled to is absolutely unfair. Actually, he was meant to give a father their daughter. He just wants to collect his daughter, put her in the car seat and drive off. I think this was in the States. And the guy said, I don't want you touching my card. Please give me my daughter. Let me put my daughter in the car and then drive off, right? And then the woman started saying, oh, why are you being aggressive? And this is on video. I can assure you, if there was no video, things like that, easily that man would land in trouble. And she was trying so hard. Some women do it for monetary gain, so they can get more child support, so they can fleece the man, so they can. And this is why I have a major issue against. I'm not saying a man shouldn't pay child support. Again, there is a ton of women who use the fact that they've given birth to a child, they use that as a facade. They use that as a smokescreen. They hide behind that. They collect the child support and they spend it recklessly on themselves. Now, if you've had a child by a man, with a man, you have to co-parent, and they are genuine being the objective word, genuine needs for the child, for clothing, for food feeding, for childcare and stuff, the man should contribute. As long as he's got income and stuff, that's your offspring, okay? But we've seen cases where even the child or the children end up looking filthy because these women actually use that money for themselves. And that was if you look, all you have to do is go on the internet and find similar topics. And you see, unfortunately, this huge plethora of toxicity and type of movement. Women who are very angry because that's why when you go into the court of law, the court really doesn't look at emotions. They laser target on the welfare of the child. It's about the welfare of the child. And it angers me when I see genuine fathers are clamoring, for, I want to spend time with my daughter. I've showed up on your door. I'm not asking you questions about who are you sleeping with? Who are you dating? Oh, who is that guy in that car? Why are you kissing a new guy? That's none of my business. I just want to spend time with my daughter or my son. And then you put a brick wall in front of me because you're still mad at me and then you're weaponizing. But the person that's been emotionally deprived, and this idea of you think you are the suitable parent, you are the only parent who is better off for the child. Who made those rules? Who are you to say that? Who are you to deprive a child of their relationship, genuine relationship with their father? Would you agree with me, anyone watching this, that it's very, very possible for anyone, a man might have let you down in a relationship, but he can end up being a very good dad to his children? Do you agree with me that it's absolutely possible? He might have been a dick, he might have been a jerk, he has let you down, he smashed your emotions to smithereens because of his bad choices and whatnot, but it's absolutely possible for that same man to be a fantastic dad to his son or his children. Thank you. I can see people saying they totally agree with me. That's all I'm getting at. That's all I'm getting at. And I say one more time, this is not designed, please, this session, I know there's some women that, Phrankleen, how dare you? As a single mom, my ex-husband was a useless, oh God, Jesus Christ. Look, look, Phrankleen, let me tell you something. I'm going to unsubscribe from your channel. You're trying to put women down. Phrankleen, listen to me. You've never been in my... Oh, man, look. Yeah, you know, oh, Phrankleen, you've never been in my shoes. How dare you say that? I'm a woman of God. I'm an independent woman. This man was a jerk. Look, I empathize with you. I thoroughly I thoroughly empathize with you, and I get it, right? And I understand that, you know, when your heart is broken, to to gain a closure, and I understand. Let's be candid. I get it. You know, if somebody has no, I empathize. I'm just laughing because people are laughing, and I do not. You know, when I listen to people share their stories. On a more serious note, now, I do not. I have never trivialized anyone's story, because your story, your journey, your experiences they are unique to your persons, and I have a huge amount of respect. But let me also take you back. The premise of my YouTube channel is to discuss particularly uncomfortable topics. Okay, I'm not here to sugarcoat. For example, some of you might know I made a video called "Don't Marry or Date Single Mothers." Some women, they saw that topic. Oh, Lord Jesus, this guy, how dare you? They didn't even wait to pay attention. Oh, I had some people that bumped into me in the high street. Oh, so what you're doing on your channel is putting down single mothers, yeah? You know, I'm unsubscribing from you, right? Okay. I'm not in the business of, you know, putting things down. When I talk, some of the things I share with you are in fact my own experiences. And it's never about me coming here and trying to act like I'm an epitome of knowledge or I'm better. Nah, come on, man. You see, the only way we can begin to heal, we can actually get better, is if we acknowledge. This is why when you hear me in my videos, let's keep the conversations going on below. I read my comments. I reply, I engage. When people send me emails, some emails I discard for personal reasons. I may not reply you. Sometimes when people comment, when I read comments, in my own time, I learn, I pick things. I may have made a video and I look at them and I think, right. But people, we live in a society where we have a lot of snowflakes. You know, as soon as you don't align with what people expect you to say, they just, emotionally put up a brick wall, and they're very angry and stuff like that. So in a nutshell, all I'm saying is there's somebody watching this. I don't know who you are. You might have had experience with Mr. X, Mr. Y, okay? He was a jerk. He was a bad guy. But you cannot use that as a justifiable reason to deprive him, and particularly being the objective word, to deprive innocent children who have nothing to do with the misunderstanding between two adults of their right, their access to their father. Now, it's a totally different conversation. If a man is you're a victim of domestic violence, the man has been arrested, he had a weapon, he battered you, and he's gone through the courts, the legal system. There is an injunction against him not to move close to you, and he's trying to use avenues in the background to say, oh, please, I want to see. No. If somebody who has endangered your life, those are extenuating circumstances. But, thank you. This is why I'm saying we're not talking about deadbeat dads. This is not about deadbeat dads. I think that's a common knowledge. Even a 5-year-old knows. A deadbeat dad, you just can tell from miles away that this guy is utterly useless. But there are fantastic fathers, regardless of what happened. He shagged your sister. He slept with your mom. I mean, that's terrible, though. That's terrible. That's a bad example. Let's not even go there. That's a whole nother level. Your issue, and your income guy. That's crazy. Not slept with your mom. But you get the gist, right? So yeah, and yeah, let's just do our best. Let's co-parent, and just always put your mind, the focus on the children. Hey, can I come get my David on Friday? We just go to the cinema. He's spending the weekend with me. I want to take him to the movies. I want to take him to the theater. I want to take him to the park. I'm going to go to David's school on Thursday, and I'll take him. Can I take him from there? Spend the weekend 3-4 days with me. I'm traveling to Manchester to a friend's wedding. I want to take him with me. It should be a case of, okay, as long as he's fine. If there's an emergency, let me know. You know what to do. But then you agree to something, and then you try to show your energy, you try to abuse your position and say the man shows up to pick his son. Oh, well, you can't pick him up. Why? Because I say so. Anyway, what do you think? Maybe somebody has a totally different idea or suggestion. Do you think fathers, and I mean good fathers that genuinely being the objective word here, want to carry out their fatherly duties and roles, should they be deprived of access to their child or their children? All right. It's your boy, Phrankleen. Thank you for watching. Okay. Phrankleen, regardless, my baby father was, please, I hope you gain closure. That's not what this is about. Stop depriving your children of access to their father. Stop. And lastly, before I go, if you are a woman watching this and you've managed to brainwash yourself and convinced yourself, and who is this Lee guy, man? Let me block his ass, man. Lee, I'm finna block your ass, man. Look, I'm sorry I had to block you. Okay, so Lee is gone. Right. So if you're currently treating your children's or your son or your daughter's father, you're weaponizing them, and you are abusing, you're using your children's your children against your father. You're weaponizing your children. Please bear in mind that karma goes round in full circle. It's going to catch up with you someday. Some women do it. They do it to secure themselves, make themselves feel good right now. And also, they try to selfishly keep those children to themselves so that in their retirement, they can only benefit from those children whilst they brainwash them for donkey years. If that's your plan, think about it. It may or it will backfire someday. It's your boy, Phrankleen. Thank you for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Let's keep that conversation going on below. I want to hear your views, and then I'll definitely catch you in the next one. Peace. Peace and love. Bye now.